Good morning, sir. We are live now. We are
Good
live now.
morning. That's great.
So, welcome to this show,
Thank you very much
Mr.
for having me.
Mr. Alami Abolare. Am I correct?
It's Amin Abolare.
Abolare. Okay.
Al
Can
Amin
you see me and hear
Abolare.
me
Yeah.
clearly, sir?
Yes, I can. I can perfectly.
Okay. Okay. Good morning. Welcome to UCE Media Podcast.
Thank you very much
Welcome
for
to UCE
having me.
Media Podcast.
Thank
Welcome.
you.
So now, before we start, today you have to talk about the topic we're talking on is radically me. Radically me. So I want you to tell us how we can find our uniqueness. Well, before we go through that, we would like you to introduce yourself to our audience, our viewers. We already have two people watching us now live. So go on and introduce yourself, sir. Let us know you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Collins. My name is Alamin Abolare, like you rightly said. Um, I'm the founder of the personal growth education company, Growth Run, that's providing personal growth education for career development to young people. Um, I'm a writer, and most of what I write is also around personal growth, personal development. Um, I am a speaker also. I am an author of the book Plan Z, which is a beginner's book to personal growth and how one can begin the entire process of, navigating through all the different things that we need to navigate through to be able to, kickstart that journey towards making a real sense of what our lives are actually supposed to be about. Um, I am a writer, like I said. I write frequently, and I'm a student of the University of Lagos, Electrical Electronics Engineering. I'm also for a BSc, and I'm also pursuing a parallel BSc from the International Open University in the field of psychology. So yes, what am I missing? Yes, I started a couple of other initiatives, one of which was the National Frontiers, which was geared towards national development, people development for nation building. So that was the National Frontiers. I'm also part of a few other organizations, the Change of Nigeria, and a few other RPVI, that is Reviving Patriotic Values Initiative. And yes, I think that's enough, right? I can't hear you, Collins. I think you're muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. I can.
All right. Thank you so much for that. Like, how do you come about this idea of building this brand that is named Growtron? Am I pronouncing it well? Growtron.
So it's growth and growth
Okay.
run.
Tell us
Yeah.
about Growtron.
So the name, to just start from there, the name growth run was, so you know that electrons are negatively charged and neutrons don't have a charge and protons are positively charged. So growth run is a growth charge. I don't know if that makes sense to you. So that was how the name, that was how I came about the name growth run. So like I said earlier, growth run is a personal growth education company. We provide learning resources, right, and learning experience. We create learning experiences that would help people begin and also stay on track for their personal growth journey. And what we're trying to do is to actually cut through the force that exists in the entire personal growth industry, right? It seems like then the world is split between people who can and people who can never, right? There are some of us that know some of the things that we need to do to move forward, and there are a lot of people out there that are totally clueless and very, very innocently ignorant, right, about the things that we need to do. And so what we're trying to do is that we want to democratize the access to the information, to the knowledge, to the things that people need to know and do to be able to move forward. So we provide training in this course, and we also have another service that's called Growth Clubs. Growth Clubs is going to be launching this by the end of this month or early July. And Growth Clubs is a community based platform where people can create and join communities that support their growth. So we um we did something similar last month, and we're going to do another one this month, which we titled the Build Sprint. So the Build Sprint was, you come on to a community with a goal, and you're able to work with people that have a similar goal as yours, and just to give you that push to make you stay disciplined. Motivation doesn't last long, right? And research has proven that when we do things people other people that have similar goals as ours, we're able to stay through and just do these things much more discipline than when we're doing it on our own. So that was the idea behind Build Sprint. And yes, so we were open. That's the ultimate vision is actually to be a company that provides everything, like a full suite of personal growth services, including the community, including the courses, including what you need to learn, and also including, of course, which is very, very, very important, the application part. Because, it's not enough. There are lots of motivational speakers, and that's one of the things that I try to explain to people. Growthon is not a company of motivational speakers. We do not do motivational speeches. What we do is that we've done a research into the actual steps, into the actual actions, right? We focus on the actions that people need to learn and do to be able to kickstart the journey to making a good life for themselves, starting a good career, and towards that fulfilling life. So that is the exact vision that we have. We want to make sure that everybody in the world has access to the tools and resources that they need to kickstart a good life for themselves. Are you there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can.
Wow, man, you're planning good stuff. Oh, it's good. Though. Okay, now let's go into the main purpose of this show. You can see now we're about to unleash something radically me. Radically me. That's what we'll be talking on today. Radically me. Okay, now the theme of this message is a journey to unapologetic self-image. Affirm how individual can affirm our individuality and express our uniqueness. So my first question is, how can we express our self-image? That's the first question I want to ask
Okay, yes.
as
Thank you very
individual.
much again. So, the problem that we've seen, that's very much prevalent, is that today a lot of us are easily swayed by things that are popular and things that everyone else is doing, and so everyone just wants to be like everyone else, right? And we all just want to fit in and get be in vogue, so to say, right? And so, but being radically you and being able to, affirm that individuality, like you said, and being unapologetically self-expressed, right? It is about you asking yourself the question of, what do I like myself, right? What are the things that I want to do? What are the things that I like doing? What are the things that I find fun for me? What are the things that I find fulfilling for me? And what are those things? How can I start doing those things? As opposed to me looking at the world and saying, what do people like now? Or what do people revere now? Or what would make people like me now? And then you do those things, right? There's a contrast here. One is looking in inside and asking, what are my values? What are the things that I like doing? What are the things that make me come alive? And the other is looking at the outside world and saying, what do other people like? And how can I appeal to their feelings and to their emotions? And doing the other one means you're not expressing yourself. Rather, you're trying to fit into the position of every other person. There's this quote, I've forgotten the author of the quote, but it says that most people are other people. Their thoughts, their opinions are just, copies of other people's opinions. which I found very, very, very profound. Most people are other people. We're all a lot of a lot of us are just trying to fit into the roles that the boxes that have been created by society and the people around us, and we don't spend time to question, do I really like this? I've met people that sing hip hop songs, but I know deep down that these guys really love gospel music. But because they feel gospel music is out of vogue, or gospel music, is not cool, they they continue to sing hip hop, right? So that is not self-expression. When you unapologetically express yourself, you're looking internally to ask, what are the things that I like? What are the things that make me come alive? And then you're expressing these things regardless of what people may think. So that's what it means to be unapologetically self-expressed.
Okay, okay. What now? Now, there are people who say because my parents are Christians. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Some people say because my parents is a Christian and they listen to um gospel songs, and then maybe their passion is not singing religious song like Christian song. And when you
Yeah.
know the cycle where maybe like for school, the school they are going, let's say they are students, and the
Hmm.
circle they are with are people that are singing hip hop, rap, and all that. And they
Yeah.
find that they are very good at rapping. That they cannot rap Christian song, they can rap hip hop more. But now because of their
Yeah.
parents are Christians, they cannot the parents would not allow them to do that hip hop stuff. They wanted to do Christian and they are not good. They don't have the inspiration to sing Christian song. You understand? But all they are
Yeah.
good at is that secular song. That's what they're good to sing. But now the parents don't want them to sing. So how do those people express themselves? Will you advise them to go with the um belief that their parents have to sing Christian song, or they should just forget about it, or they should follow their passion and sing rap for jazz or hip hop where they are very good at? What do you think about that? How do these people express their own self-image? Because the circle have already built an image for them. Because that's where they find themselves and they've also built an image for themselves. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
get it.
Yeah.
So what would you advise somebody like this? I know many people are victims of this.
So my response may be a bit maybe a bit shocking, but from somebody that's talking about unapologetic self-expression. But I actually believe that our parents know a lot about us than we do about ourselves, right? And I know this is so on 21st century like. I mean, everybody wants to be the follow your passion or don't listen to anybody, just do what you want to do you, and all those kind of slangs that we throw around nowadays. But I sincerely believe that our parents, given their experience, and I don't think experience is overrated, right? I 100% respect experience, regardless of who the person is, right? And our parents have that experience. They've seen a lot of things. They know a lot of things about life that we don't ourselves. And because of this knowledge, they deserve a certain amount of respect that we just have to give them. We just have to give it to them. We can't say
I hope you're enjoying this show. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, like the video, share to your friends for people who want to radically express themselves unapologetic. Share this video. He is going to come back now. Let's wait for him.
hello, can you hear me, Collins? Hi, Collins.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay, sorry, I had a little bit of disruption. I had to change my position to avoid the noise.
All right.
So
No problem.
yeah, you can see me now, right?
Yes, I can see you, sir. I can see you, sir.
Okay, fantastic. So to move on with the question. So It is, yeah. So I think the first thing I'll tell that person is that try to at least, sympathize or rather empathize with your parents and try to understand the position they're coming from. And are they telling me this because they're selfish and they just want me to do what they want me to do? Or are they telling me this because they see something? Now, after you've done that, it is it is also very important to listen to yourself, right? We're beings of ourselves first, before before we're children of our parents. So there's a need for us to also listen to. So what exactly do I like myself, right? And that would mean sometimes that would conflict with what our parents especially want for us. So again, I would say that you should try to find a common ground between yourself and your parents. Try to have a discussion with them and say, I don't want to do this, but you want me to do this. I really want to do X, but you want me to do Y. Can we try to come to a common ground of saying, just let me try out X that I want to do and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work out, I can come back to do Y. Right. So, but of course, we're Africans and we know that African parents aren't always like that. The next thing then would be to say, you know, combine both. I mean, I don't know if it's if you can't do that, but I think it's also possible to combine both, right? I've seen people who had parents that would say that I want you to become a lawyer, and they genuinely do not want to become lawyers. So they would do law while also doing what the exact thing that they want to do, and they're not causing any turmoil. Of course, that would require much more in terms of effort and in terms of a sweat from you, but really you're still being able to do what you want to do while not destroying that relationship with parents. But like I said earlier, I sincerely believe that our parents know a lot about life and about us than we do about ourselves. I hope I answered that question.
I'm with you. I'm with you, sir.
Yes, I hope I answered the question. Can you hear me? Hi, Collins. Can you hear me?
Can you very well, sir? I can hear you clearly.
Okay, great, great, great.
Okay, sir. So now, how do we express our uniqueness? Because everybody are unique with something they are very good at. Some people are not unique. They like you said, people are carbon copy of someone else. They are not unique in themselves. They like copying somebody. They know that if they do not have to do it for themselves, they'll be very good at it than copying another person's styles. Just like when you want to solve mathematics, you have people that will create their own formula that used to solve the math and then they will enjoy it
Yeah,
and they will solve it fast.
yeah.
Because they have created their own formula. Students are not students that create their own formula. You like how each person now by testing. They create their own formula. But now how do we as individuals express our uniqueness? Be very good and perfect at what we do.
So I think first, before you can before you can express yourself, you need to know yourself, right? And that is the problem with the advice of say be yourself or do you or those kind of those other very common sayings. You can't tell someone who has no idea what he is about to be himself, right? So if you don't know yourself, you can't be yourself. You're just also going to just keep being, trying to fit into boxes that has been created by other people. So it is very, very important that you thread that journey of self-awareness, thread that journey of self-creation, like I like to say. So I didn't say self-discovery because I don't really believe that we have a self that is lost and then we have to go and find that self. I believe it's more a creation process, right? For saying that this is who I want to create, a new reality for myself that is empowering, as opposed to the one that I currently have that may not be as empowering as it should be. So it is first threading that path of self-awareness. What do I like exactly? What are the things that light me up? right? What are the things that make me happy? What are the things that drive me? What are the things that when I do them, I'm lit up, right? And I just lose sense of time and I just keep doing them. And why do I love these things, right? It is, it's a progressive process or gradual process of looking at what are the things what are the things I like, and how can I, how can I find this thing and do more of this thing? So that is where it starts from. You can't be yourself if you don't know yourself. So it's very, very, very important that you uh, thread that path to of self-awareness. And then when you thread that path of self-awareness, the next step is actually self-creation, which is what when you start looking at, so what do I want for myself? What reality do I want to create for myself? How do I want my life to be like? What picture do I want to have for myself, and what do I want to look like in the nearest future, right? And this is basically you rewriting like a story, right? So you are writing down the things that I want to have, the things that I want to look like, the kind of interactions that I want to be having, the kind of relationship that I want to have, the kind of career that I want to be working in, the kind of results that I want to be getting. And I think, you know, there is a difference between um, being and making to be, right? So being, hoping to be and making to be. There's a difference between hoping to be and making to be. Hoping to be is saying that, okay, so I'll just sit here and I hope, or I wish, or I pray, right? We're very religious in Africa, and that's a good thing. Or I pray that I turn out successful. But then you don't do anything about it. That's hoping to being. And as we can see, I mean, the statistics in the world today is very, very bad. I don't like being the one that brings bad news, but it's just the reality. Murder rate is highest, suicide rate is highest, teenage mortality, accidents, um, all of this drug addiction, and almost any kind of bad statistics that you can think of is at the highest rate today. So that shows that we're not really figuring things out. We're just hoping to be right. And then there's the next part, which is making to be right. The making to be is saying, so things won't just turn out to be good like abracadabra. You just sit down and then you wave the magic wand and things turn out to be good. It doesn't. Things don't work that way. So how can I make to be? What are the actions that I can start taking now that would, propel my actions, that will propel my movement towards the things that will grant me the results that I want to get? What are even the results that I want to get? And how can I start taking the steps, even if it is just one step and two steps and three steps? Because those things will be very, very significant. The reason is that a lot of us, a lot of people are not taking those steps. In fact, some people are taking steps backwards rather than taking steps forwards. And so even if it's just one step you take, or two steps you take, or three steps you take, or 15 steps you take, it is of utmost importance. And the third thing is to understand that it is an unending journey, right? It's not something that comes to an end. You would keep creating yourself. You would keep creating a new self. You would keep creating your new self. You keep creating a new self, and you keep discovering new things that you didn't know you could do before. You keep finding out things that you can add to your portfolio. You keep finding out things that you can add to your resume. You keep finding out new skills, new abilities, and new characteristics that you can use to define yourself. It is unending, and this is the reason why I don't believe that life is a race. No, I think life is a journey, and life being a journey means that you're on your own, and we all have our own journeys, right? Your journey is different from my journey, no matter how similar we are. Given that we may be operating in something in a space that's similar, but my journey is different from your journey. It's radically different from your journey, right? So it is understanding that I'm threading my path. I'm on my journey, and so what more do I need to discover to make this journey easier for me, right? And being unapologetic about it. I mean, it should even be it should be the default position that we're unapologetic about things that are opposing to our journey. Because I am a radically different person from you. You are a radically different person from another person. We're born, even twins, they have their own differences. You know, no matter how similar they are, they have their own differences. And that should actually inform the fact that, oh, look, this is my own journey. And I shouldn't be looking at the other person for confirmation of the actions that I should be taking. So, it's those three things, right? First, start with knowing yourself, and then creating yourself. And then when you create yourself, you understand that we're all on different journeys. So just take your path and literally close your eyes and close your ears to the things that people may be saying to you. Just do you. Because after you understand you, that's the only time you can start doing you. I I hope you get that.
Wow, thank you so much for going through the details. Like you went deep, 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 deep. Thank you, sir. Wow, you're a good teacher. Now, when we talk about affirming ourselves as individuals, is it just about saying, I am strong, I am a lion, I am this, I am that? I don't know if there's another that way. Like, we know the normal words of affirmation people do every day. I am the
I know.
king, I
Yeah.
am this, I am unstoppable. Like you say, motivational speaker, that's what to say. I am this, I am dogged, fearless, unbeatable. So now, how do we affirm ourselves as individuals? How do we affirm ourselves as individual according to you? I want you to tell us, please.
So
Because this thing is very important because people have low mindset. They need to build their self-esteem. So now how do we affirm ourselves as individuals? Thank you, sir.
yes. So I have quite a bit of problems with positive psychology, right? Positive psychology is the area that addresses all of this motivation, you know, affirmations and meditations and all of those stuff.
Okay,
If not,
wait. Sorry.
yes.
Like now, there's one funny thing I've seen. You see somebody that just, let's say just 1 second ago or 1 second, past 1 second, the person just affirmed one word of affirmation. Like I'm going to that stage, I'm speaking there. I'll not be afraid. I will not shake. Nothing will happen to me. I will speak to the audience. Immediately the person leave that place, stand there, you go see where the person will shake for stage. You're like, but this person just made word of affirmation. No. Why is it that thing is not effective? Why is it that thing is not working? After all the positive word you said, and now you're on the stage,
Yeah.
you are not doing what you promised yourself. So just
So
go on,
so
sir.
so there are a few things uh, that define whether, positive psychology is a lot more theoretical. It feels sensible because we feel like, oh, this thing should work now. But then when it comes to actual reality, they don't always apply. One of the things that a lot of us have misunderstood is affirmations. So affirmations can actually be very dangerous, can be very, very dangerous. So think about someone that's, um, yes, think about someone that's saying, I am rich. Okay, just for the benefits of those who don't know what affirmations are statements that you make to yourself to try to convince your subconscious that you are already something. So, take the example of someone, a poor person that's making the affirmation of I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. And you repeat this over and over and over and over. And the idea is that the more you repeat this, the more it's going to become familiar with your subconscious. And the more you become familiar with your subconscious, there's this thing called the law of attraction. And due to the law of attraction, you are going to start attracting wealth and all those blah, 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 blah. So this person keeps saying, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich. Now, here's what that does. Here's why it is dangerous to do that. It is dangerous because you are going to end up successfully convincing your brain. You're going to end up convincing your brain that you are already that thing that you're saying you are. The brain doesn't know the difference between reality and what is thought. It doesn't know the difference between reality and imagination. It is the reason why when you think about something, you think about a mother, for example, sits on the couch and then remembers the time she was playing with her child, and then she laughs or she smiles. Is she playing with that child again? No, but it's just the imagination of playing with the child that brought about that physical response or that physiological response of smiling or laughing. So we can our imagination, the brain doesn't know how to differentiate between what is imagined and what is actually real. And that is why sometimes we scare ourselves, right? You remember a movie that you watched, and then now you're scared and you're looking around fear with fear. So because of that fact that the brain cannot differentiate between what is imagined and what is real, when you keep telling yourself that I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, I am rich, that gets encoded into your brain that, oh, this guy is sitting right here
is already rich. And what that would mean is that the things that you need to do, the brain would have given the brain the signal of saying you have reached that end line, that finish line of wealth, right? And so when you reach the finish line of a race, what do? Do you keep running? No, you stop. You catch your breath. And so your brain will get familiar with that such that it will now start making you, complacent, which is counterintuitive, right? It will make you so complacent because now you convince your brain that you already have that thing. And so it does not have any drive. It doesn't have the drive to keep on pursuing that thing. It doesn't have the motivation anymore because now you made it believe that I already have it. I mean, if you believe that you've reached the end of the race, then there's no need to keep running now. So that is why it can be dangerous. Now, but there's another type of affirmation that I call process affirmation, right? There's result affirmation, there's process affirmation. The result affirmation is saying I am rich, or I am I am intelligent, right? All of those things, right? Another type, the process type of affirmation is saying things like I study my notes every day. I work hard towards my goal. Those are processes, not results. Not saying that I got or say I had all A's in my examination. You know, those are results affirmation. But process affirmation is more like I study every day. I work hard towards my goal every day. I do the things that I should be doing, and I move towards the things that I should be moving towards. So that would actually do more for you in terms of motivation, because now you're affirming that I'm a kind of person that works towards their goal. I'm a kind of person that studies. I'm a kind of person that thinks about new business ideas. I'm a kind of person that executes. I'm a kind of person that does all of these things that would normally move us towards our goals, right? So that's that about affirming, right? So it is about looking at um it is about looking at the things that you need to do in order to reach that goal. I'm muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear
Okay,
you.
great, great. So affirming your individuality is actually there's a better way to actually do this. People say this is another thing that I really really hate. Like I just dislike it. People say fake it until you make it, and this statement has been made by quite a number of huge people, popular people, and popular motivational speakers and all. But I think it's absolute rubbish. I think it's just rubbish. Why do you need to fake it when you can actually, do the work? Go out and make it. Don't fake. What are you faking? Right? I believe more in face it until you make it, not fake it until you make it. When you face it until you make it, that means you are actually doing the real work. You're not trying to show yourself or show other people that look, I'm this. You're trying to fake yourself. But why don't you just do the actual work? Face it until you make it rather than faking it until you make it until you make it. And that is where it comes in. That is where the affirmation of your individuality comes in. When you start doing the actions, not just following cliche quotes and throwing quotes around. And I'm not saying that is bad. I watch motivational videos till this moment. I watch them. I have them. I've got a number of them on my phone, on my YouTube. I watch a lot of them. But what I'm saying is that do not put that on the top of the pyramid. Do not put that on the top of the hierarchy. They are secondary. What is primary is the real actions that you take. What is primary is the decisions that you make. It's the steps that you're taking. Not sitting down in front of your phone and watching motivational video, but exactly what you do immediately after watching that video. What do you do 1 week after watching that? What do you do 2 years after watching that video? Because that video is only going to last for an hour, 30 minutes, 5 minutes, 1 minute, or maybe it's just a quote that you read on somebody's status. That's just going to end for some seconds. But what is going to continue is your life. What is going to continue is the results you're getting. You know, so doing is the best way to affirm your individuality, rather than hoping things work out as you think they would. Yeah.
Man, you are too good. Ah, you are too good. You are too good. Mm, you are too good. Thank you so much, sir. Like, wow.
Thank you very
Me too.
much
I'm
too.
learning here now. I am learning here. As in, I am learning here. Okay, now let's not just wait as time. You know we have limited time. You know, when it comes to like this affirmation is related to personal development. But I would like
Yeah.
to go straight to personal development. So now, how do you develop yourself? How do you develop yourself every day? How do you want individuals to develop themselves when it comes to their personal development part? How do you want to develop yourself every day? How do you develop yourself? Use yourself as an epitome or example so that we learn from you, sir.
Okay. So I think the first thing is to there are two ways to this, and this is something that I'm actually also like very very concerned about. I'm going to talk to a few people to really understand this. So I've seen that there are two ways that people develop themselves. One is going internal, right? Doing having taking classes on self discovery, taking classes on self awareness, taking classes on self creation, taking all those kinds of classes. The other is that the other type of development that I've seen is that people just get into the workforce. People just get results, right? So one is saying that I'm going to take courses or I'm going to attend classes, which is the way I did, which is what I did, right? I attended a lot of classes. I attended a lot of talks and conferences and all of these things that would open one's view to personal growth. That is one way. The other way that I've seen is that there are some people that don't attend these conferences, but maybe they just get a job or they kickstart their career and they're starting to get small results, a little result, and then they're making that result bigger. They're making it bigger. And they're making it bigger. And along the way, they're going to figure out who am I. They're going to figure out what do I like. The most common one, and the I think the most what's the word? The most yeah, I'm lost the word now. So what I mean to say is the most legit, if I can use that. Yeah, the most confirmed. Yeah, one is to actually say that I want to look internally and say, what do I like? What are the things I want to do? How can I discover the things that I want to do? How can I start doing them? And after you've done that, here's the disconnect that exists in the personal development industry. There is a lot of people that tell you, be yourself, get all of these things and then blah 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 blah, yada yada yada, all of these things. But after you do that, there is still the doing part. There is still the part where you have to get your hands dirty. There's still the part where you have to get off the couch, drop your phone, and start doing work. There's still the part where you have to, go get a job. No, there is no amount of motivation that's going to submit your CV for you. There's no amount of motivation that's going to go to that company and have the interview for you. You have to get up yourself and go do that, right? So you have to start by doing that. Now that I understand myself, I understand what I like, I understand what I want to do, I understand the people that I want to be with, I understand the relationships that are empowering to me and etc. The next thing is let me start doing. The goal you have to be pushing at is how can I reduce the time between learning and doing? Because if you spend so much time learning, you can actually get lost. And a lot of us are actually in this cycle. You can get lost in the learning cycle, where all you just do is learn, 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 watch videos, watch motivational speakers, learn, 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 plan. We plan, make a lot of plans, but then you don't really do anything. We don't really do everything. So that is the barrier that you have to cross. First, understand all of the things about who am I? What are the things that I like? So one thing that we've done a group on is that we've created a framework that we call the redefined growth framework. The redefined growth framework consists of about 7 stages of personal growth, and these are stages. At each stage, there are tangible results that must be gotten to confirm that you're in this stage, right? So what you're doing is learning the skills that I need to do, that I need to learn to move from stage one to the stage of what is the lowest stage? The lowest stage is what we call the ground level. And the ground level is gotten from physics, the ground state of an atom. So it's it is the level of least action. It is the level of least motivation. It is where a lot of people are, right? Where all we just do is follow other people's opinion. Where that person is unable to form the real opinions of themselves. They don't know what they want to do. They're just cruising through life, so to say. All they just want to do is to just cruise through life. That's the lowest stage. Now there are things that that person must learn to move to another stage. It is there that you start talking about things like, okay, understanding that really life doesn't happen to us. We make life happen, right? Life things don't just turn out to be good. We make them turn out to be good. It is then you have to start talking about how can you start creating a better reality. And then there's another stage where people already understand that okay, yeah, luck only comes to those who work, right? Luck and work go hand in hand. So I won't get lucky. So how can I start working so I can make luck work for me? And that's the second stage of saying, so what do I need to learn now? And it's that stage where people start asking questions like, what is my passion? What are the things I love to do? What's my purpose? What are the things that make me come alive? And then there's another stage where you start that we call the maze, right? We call this stage the maze. The reason we call it the maze is that it is at that point that people start running around and trying to find what career should I go into, right? What job should I take? And so it is at this point that we start doing a host of things. So you find somebody, you ask somebody that, what are you doing? Say, I learned copywriting, I learned content writing, I learned drop shipping, I learned all of these skills. I'm also doing web development, blah, 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 blah. And that person mentions five or 10 different things. If that person, we may easily criticize that person and say, oh, you're not focused, you're not this. But just maybe that person is in a stage that is called the maze, where the person is trying to really understand what aspect should I go into? What path should I take? Now, after the maze, there's another stage where, you start, okay, I understand that this is the path that I want to take. This is the career that I want to use as a vehicle that will drive me towards my end goal. So it just goes on and on and on and on like that. But it all starts by first understanding that what is called success isn't accident. It's not accidental, right? It's there's no there's no coincidence. You have to set it up. You have to create it. It's created. It is made. It is molded. It doesn't just come into existence like abracadabra, right? So that is where it starts. And then when you do that, listing out the actions, being biased towards action, being biased towards saying, what can I do to move forward? What can I do? Emphasis on the word do, because we can learn our entire life and still not get results. But there are some people that just learn just a little, they make action, and then they learn a little more, and then they make action, and then they learn a little more, and then they execute and execute and execute. Those are the people that actually get results. So that is that's the process. Learn, execute, learn, execute, learn, execute. And sometimes learn, execute, 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 learn, execute, 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 and so on. I hope you get the point I'm trying to make.
Yeah, I always clap for you, sir. Wow, thank you so much, boss. I'm just learning here. You know I'm a learner, and
I'm
I'm
also a
just your
learner
boy.
here.
When it comes to this aspect, I'm your boy.
Same
Now,
here.
sir. Now, sir. You know, some people might misunderstand this. When you say for one to be radical and unapologetic, they'll be like, what's it concern me? You know, when some people not to them, they're like, since it's radical, then I'm gonna do it in concern me. I don't want to hear anybody own again. When it's unapologetic, I don't need to beg anybody. I don't need to go straight. I don't need to look back. You understand? So now explain to them what one mean, or what you mean rather, to be radical and unapologetic. Explain to them so they understand. Because some people might misunderstand what we are saying here. To be radical and unapologetic. Tell us now,
So
sir.
it's not being radical in the sense of thuggery or violence, but really it's ra- being radically you means you understand yourself to the extent that you are not swayed by other people's opinion. To go back to the example I used earlier, you now understand yourself that this is what I like. I like singing gospel music, or I like reading novels, or I like writing. I don't want to become a lawyer, or I don't want to, I don't want to spend my time doing some other things, right? You understand yourself, you understand what you want to do exactly. When you do that, when you understand what you want to do, then you can start becoming radically you, which is saying that I'm going to close my ears and I'm going to close my eyes, whatever anybody says. Is this thing that I'm doing right? Yes. Is it the truth for me? Yes. Then just go on. Just become, just go all in, right? Don't without um trying to find out what would people think or what people say. Being radically you actually means closing your ears to what people will say or what people will think, or saying, what if people don't like this? Or what if people think that I'm being an idiot? Or what if people think, what if people think, what if people think, overthinking and trying to place ourselves in the shoes of others. That is the opposite of being radically you. Being radically you means you just say, I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it because I know this is the truth. And you may not be successful with it. Well, that's life. It's okay. But you now saying I want to fit into what everyone else is doing, that is just the opposite of being yourself.
Wow. Thank God you answered them now. Because some people like, we have violence king now. They'll take it as violence. You look at me.
Comrades, right?
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Sir, before you go,
Yeah.
we're almost done now. Before you go, what will be your last word for us on this podcast? Your last word for us. And the second question is, who are those that inspires you? Who do you look up to? Maybe your role models or mentor.
Yeah, yeah. So, okay, let me start with the second question. So, a couple of people actually. I think the primary person is, I think it's someone that you also know, and you said he's also coming to the podcast too soon. It's Dr. Lajobi, Dr. Patel Lajobi. So that's that's like the primary person that that kickstarted everything really. He got me to read the first book I read. He got me to through him I got a lot of coaching sessions. Through him I got a lot of personal development classes and all of these other things that opened up my view to, oh, okay, so there are people that actually teach this thing. Oh, that's great to learn. Right. So he was the first person to do that. And who else? I think the other people are actually online. So people like Tom Bilyeu. Tom Bilyeu is the founder of a podcast company called Impact Theory. The Impact Theory is actually a YouTube channel that they interview a lot of people, a lot of successful people in different fields. And Tom Bilyeu is just a very fantastic person because the kinds of questions that he asks on his interviews, they are just so superb, and it just gives you those responses. I binge watched a lot of Impact Theory videos. Then the next person I would say is, I mean, there are a lot. Most of them are online. Most of them are from books,
Yeah, I,
authors.
I know of School of Greatness.
Yes. Oh, that's this guy. Uh, I've forgotten his name now. School of Greatness. I didn't really listen to School of Greatness a lot. School of Greatness is by this guy, this former athlete. I didn't really listen to School of Greatness a lot, but I listened to Impact Theory. I read a lot of books. It is reading books, really. It is books, books. I buy a lot of books, read a lot of books. You can't buy too many books. Buy more, keep buying more, keep reading them. Right? They open up our views a lot. Okay, so now to the second question of what's the final word? I think I think it's what I would just like to say is that we should I think we should all step up because we're in a point in the world where all hands have to be on deck. We're in a point in the world where a lot of things are going wrong. So many things are not going right. A lot of things are falling apart. Like I said earlier, every kind of every kind of negative statistic that you can think of is at the highest in this century, right? A lot more people are engaged in crime. A lot more people are killing other people. A lot more people are engaging in illicit behaviors, and now we're even seeing them as normal. So there's a need for a lot of us to step up our game, to step up and to step into action of saying, how can I start contributing to the people around me? How can I make the life of the person to the left of me and to the right of me better? How can I improve the condition of myself first and also the condition of the people surrounding me? It is a need right now. It is a need. We need it. We just must do it. Because if we don't, things are going to get really bad. And if things get really bad, it's going to affect all of us. So there's a need for all of us generally to step up and improve our actions on the things that we're doing. I think that's the last word. I mean, I would want every single person in the world to jump on this train of saying, how can I contribute to make the world better? Even if it's just an atom weight better, right? Just even if it's just yourself, just make yourself better. And you know the byproduct of making yourself better, you would inevitably make other people's life better too. So that's my word. That's my word. That's my word.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think that impact theory is to belief and school of
Somebody,
greatness
yeah,
is
yeah,
something always. I don't remember the full name.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah.
can't I can't
Now
imagine how the name stays my mind.
I have their books and I've watched many of their videos. I keep watching their
Oh,
videos. When I
that's
look at all
amazing.
those guys are doing, it's okay, I'll do this. Let me model that. Let me model that.
Yeah, I remember
I'm
now. It's
almost doing
Louis
that.
House.
You can
It's
see that
Louis
I'm doing
House.
that on my channel. uh Uh-huh. So now,
Exactly.
can you just tell us a book that changed your life? Because I see that your life have changed.
A
Recommend books
book.
for us. First of all, the book that changed your life. Then you recommend books for us that will build our personal development, our
Uh,
personal self rather.
um, uh, Let me see if I can mention one. Can I mention one? So one book that I really love, one of the earliest books that I read was Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg. And I think I was opportune. I was very, very lucky to read exciting books, amazing books when I started reading books. It was Power of Habits by Charles Duhigg, and then Willpower by Roy Baumeister. Willpower is about understanding how, what we call discipline and willpower is actually a result of some other things that we don't really think of. And then I read, you know, um, this book by James Clear, which is a very popular book, Atomic Habits. Right? I read Atomic Habits. Atomic Habits was superb, very, very beautiful. And then I read Talent is Overrated by um, Geoffrey Colvin. And that also opened me up to a lot of things. So, and another one that I think did a lot of work for me, if I would choose one that's like the number one, I think it would be this. It is The Eighth Habits by Stephen Covey. So Stephen Covey is the author of Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. And then he wrote another book called The Eighth Habits, right? So The Eighth Habits, it was very, very fantastic when I read it. Eighth Habits is made up of two parts. The first part is, just personal, you developing yourself. The other part is organizational development. So the first part is actually what I'm talking about. It was a very fantastic book for me. And it was, I think, if I would choose one out of all of those books, that was number one. I think I would choose The Eighth Habits by Stephen Covey. There are a number of other books too, but I mean, I can't keep going on and on. You're muted. I can't hear you. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I sorry. I have to say
Yeah,
this.
yeah, yeah.
How I want to ask, how did how have reading book helped you to grow and help you to see things? You can know reading book, there's a lot of things they do to different people. So how have reading book helped you?
I think they've just opened my view to things that I wouldn't normally consider, to new concepts, to new theories, to new ideas. And I think that's powerful because I think inherently that we kind of have an idea of the things that we should be doing to make our lives better. But then books bring it out in front of us, like they put it right in front of our face and say, this is it. And so when you see those things, they just resonate with you somehow. and then you're able to start executing on them. So that is how books I think have helped me because it is it is years of research. I mean, Stephen Covey writing the Eight Habits, I think it was about 5 years of research or even more of research. Now, it's not just those 5 years of research. This guy is an old man. He's dead now, by the way. So he has over decades, like many, many decades of experience. Now he's coming on to write a book. And that book is a compilation of decades of experience in one. And so you can imagine the density of value that the book has. It's so dense in values that 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 it has, and that means that there's a lot you can get from it. So for me, it is exposure to new ideas, to new concepts that I can directly make use of. And whenever I get those new concepts, the thought that I have is how can I start using this? How can I start using this? How can I start using that?
Wow. Wow. So, sir, how many books do you read in a month? Right? A lot of people say, I read 10 books, I read 4 books, I read 2 books, I read 1 million books. I'm like, hey, oh yeah. So, let's see your
So
turn now. How many books do you read in a month? At least.
I used to aim for four, but I did three. For most months last year, I did three books. But this year, I actually slowed down because, like I said, Growthon is an early stage company, and that means there's a lot of work that we have to do. So I've read how many books this year? I've read two books, no three. Yeah, three books this year. First is the Lean Startup, Blue Ocean Strategy, and the one I'm currently reading, how to the Outliers. Yeah, Malcolm Gladwell. Yeah. So the reason why I slowed down is that all these three books that I mentioned, they are books that I actually need to apply to build growth on, to build the company. Because like I said, it's an early stage company and there's a lot of work that has to be done to build the foundation, to make it stand well. So the Lean Startup by Eric Rice is actually like I see it like a playbook. So chapter by chapter, I try to read and say, how can I apply this? Chapter by chapter, I try to read and say, how can I apply this? Yes. So I don't think you need to force yourself to read 52 books a year, 40 books a year, or one book a week. It's nice if you can, but just go on with your pace. I mean, there are people that do that, and I revere them a lot, but I don't think it's every single person that has to read 40 books a year, 52 books a year. And so,
Thank you so much, sir.
thank you
Thank you
very
for
much for
coming for
having me.
this UC Media show. We have
Thank you
come to the
so
end of
much
this
for
show.
having me.
Thank you for pouring out yourself to us. Thank you for the content. Thank you for the idea. Thank you for your philosophy. Thank you for
No,
everything.
thank you so much
Thank you
for
so much,
bringing me
sir.
on.
Thank you, sir.
I'm
Thank you,
very
sir.
grateful.
So
Thank
we are
you.
going to end this live video now. Subscribe to this YouTube channel, like, share, so that more people will know how to have their, how will I even say it, not violence. So share this video so that people will know how to find their self, how to express themselves radically. How will I even say it? Radically you. Because me, if I say radically me, I mean myself. So now how you find yourself unapologetic and you should be radical. So share this video, like, subscribe to this channel. So my oga, thank you so much, sir.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much for having me, Collins.
All right. Bye, sir.